Jared, I got to ask you first because we're going to be talking a lot about Paddy Pimblett. Obviously, big deal. You two fighting. You were one of the early lightweights to call him out publicly after one of your victories, of course. And it took a while, but you finally got the fight here. How does it feel to finally get your way?
Well, it wasn't me, bro. It was him. Um, I fought his teammate Chris Fishgold in Fight Island. What was it? 3 years ago now. So when he got signed to UFC, he called me out. I before I called him out. So um, you know, careful what you wish for. He wanted to get that one back for his team, I guess. So that's why he called me out. And at the same time, he had called out a couple other people. So it wasn't like, they just had asked him, "Oh, for your debut, who would you like to fight?" And he named like 3 or 4 guys. I was one of them. So yeah, I mean, it just makes sense now. We've been calling each other out for the last couple of fights, last couple of months, or whatever it's been. So yeah, I mean, here we are.
And obviously there was Dana go back in the spring. Dana was saying that this fight was pretty much going to happen. Obviously, it doesn't, end up following through until now. But what was going through your head at the time when it sounded like this thing was just already happening and then it kind of doesn't come together?
I mean, I don't know. I was like, "Oh, cool," and then it didn't happen. I'm like, "All right, whatever." So it didn't really matter to me. But here we are. I think it's actually better this way because there's more of a storyline, and now that he has proven himself, then it's put us up higher on the card, on A card. I know that I probably wouldn't have been necessarily where we were on the card without his name, which is fine because it's not like my paycheck changes anyways. I'd almost rather fight early and just get the fuck out of there.
So you're not
Than
all
any,
that hyped about being in the co-main event of a pay-per-view.
I mean, I am. It's cool, yeah, but I always knew I would get to this point one way or the other. And it's not like nothing's changed. Like, I'm not getting paid more. I'm not getting anything else. Like, I've had some other opportunities, sponsorships and stuff like that, but nothing dramatic has changed. So,
One of the things that's very important to you, though, is getting your message out there, obviously, and a bigger platform must give you a bigger, berth to get your message out there. That's a
for
positive, right?
sure. I mean, that's the biggest part. Is that know we're getting a lot of eyes on us, so that's just better for me in general. Then once I beat him, it's going to be even more so. And I always knew I would get to this point, like that I was destined for something like this. I didn't know how it would happen or when it would happen. There was times where I was kind of unsure if how or when it was going to happen. Here we are, and no, I just have to seize the opportunity, and that's the bottom line.
Now, one thing you had spoken about is the fact that, Patty over the summer was speaking about his friend who had, mental health issues, unfortunately took his own life. And, you were hoping that this would give you guys the chance to promote mental health awareness. Have your camps been in touch? Have you guys been in touch about anything to do?
No, I don't think he's really talking about that anymore, anyways.
So he's moved on from that. Is that how you
I mean,
perceive it?
yeah, like I still do my thing. Obviously, I'm always helping people, but I haven't heard anything from him. Or I mean, then again, I'm also I don't have Instagram and Twitter on my phone, so I'm not like staring at the screen all day long. So I don't know really what he's doing or what's happening. Uh, but like I think that was really the only time he spoke about it. You know, maybe it impacted him for that moment, and he just was like, all right, and he moved on, or maybe it is a big deal to him, maybe it's not, but I don't think nothing has come of it.
Now, one thing that you've always done on social media is when you do tweet, you're often tweeting about how, like, listen, I'm a voice, I'm here, I can help you if you need someone to talk to. How often do kind of just strangers reach out to you, like asking for help, take you up on your offer?
Every day almost. There's not really a day that goes by where I'm not talking to someone, um, or someone's contacting me. The only time I really don't talk to anyone is I'm just not looking at it, which has been a lot lately because when I stare at my phone, it just rots my brain. So like I don't like I said, I don't have Twitter and Instagram on my phone. Uh, I have a laptop and I'll sign on and look at my DMs and that's really it. I don't try to scroll. But yeah, every day, especially when I make a post, then I get flooded. But it's hard, man. It's hard to balance, work and what I want to do with just scrolling. It's like the devil in 2022 form. You know what I mean? In the 80s, it was cocaine. 2022 is TikTok, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I try not to stare at it, man, because it's just so stupid.
I understand. I understand. Going back to Paddy, though, I want to ask you because Michael Bisping was just talking recently about how he thinks that Paddy may be underestimating you. Do you get the sense that Paddy might be underestimating you?
You're in the wrong sport if you don't think you're going to win. I think I'm going to kick his ass also. So, um, no, I think that's all bullshit, though. The whole thing with him being fat, his weight's probably in control way earlier, way sooner than he makes it out to be. Um, Michael Bisping, like, I love the guy. I think he's great, but those are just clickbait headlines, man. I don't believe anything I see on the internet or anything that's anyone sends me or anything I hear. It's all bullshit. They know exactly what they're doing, and I don't think he's underestimating me at all. I'm not underestimating him at all.
And you've spoken about how you think this fight stylistically works out very well on your end. Can you elaborate much without giving away too much?
I mean, I just think that like the kind of fighter he is, the kind of fighter I am, it just plays into more of my game. Um, yeah, he's unpredictable, he's wild, and he goes for it. Um, but just what we've seen in his fights, he stylistically, I think it's just a great fight for me. I think I'm the better. I know I'm the better wrestler, and uh, I'm not like subbing guys because that's not my game. I'm trying to hold you down and punch your face in, and then if you give me your neck, I'll take it. Um, but and I think I'm cleaner on the feet, or I know I'm cleaner on the feet. He just goes wild for it. I'm not saying that's not effective because it has shown to be effective. Um, so I think I'm just better everywhere. But and he likes to. He's on his back a lot, so that's my bread and butter is being on top.
Sure.
Like I said, man, I'm not underestimating him. I'm expecting the best fighter I've ever fought December 10th.
Mm-hmm. Moving away from Paddy a little bit, I want to ask you, you're a Queens guy. Where's the best pizza in the city?
Man, there's so much good pizza in New York.
Where's your go-to? If you're coming
I mean,
home,
I'm
because I
from
know you're in
Astoria,
Florida, where are you
Queens, man.
going?
I'm from Astoria, Queens. Right up the block is Alba's Pizza. They're just some, mom and pop shop. They've been there forever. So good. Um, in Forest Hills is Danny's Pizza. They've been there for forever. Um, dude, there's so much good pizza.
Now, going back outside of pizza here, take me back to your first experience watching mixed martial arts. Do you remember it?
Yep. I was at my friend Sal's house, Long Island. I was 7 years old. And his brother, we were in love with WWF, WW, WCW at the time. And that's all we did. We wrestled, we threw each other off our desks in our room, off each other's, on our beds, like body slamming each other. My friend Sal's, yeah, my friend Sal's brother used to make us like fight or wrestle or whatever. And then one day I go over there and he's like, "You guys got to see this. It's called UFC." And it was like Hoist Gracie versus whoever the fudge. And what's the guy's name? The karate guy kicked the sumo wrestler's teeth out of his mouth. That's like the first fight that I watched. And I remember thinking to myself, this can't be real, dude. This is fake. Meanwhile, I used to think wrestling was real. Like I would argue with you to the end. It's real, it's real. And then when I watch UFC, I was like, this has to be fake. They can't do this on TV. It's like this is illegal. But then I remember like thinking like I want to do that when I'm older.
What do you kind of walk around at between fights weight wise?
Man, I haven't been getting over like 180s, 182 the heaviest, 183 maybe. But I've been in the 70s for weeks and probably like 2 months now. I mean, I was in Dubai with Bilal, whatever it was, 8 weeks ago, and I was in the 70s. So,
what about on fight night? What do you typically like to walk to the cage at?
I usually get in there. I'm like 73, 74, the heaviest.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get bigger because I would come in there bigger. But I felt like I feel better when I'm like a little leaner and smaller. So
you hear that from a lot of guys.
Yeah, I just move better. My cardio, I'm not as like lethargic feeling. When I was fighting at 45, I would be in the cage at 74.
But once you're done, once the fight's over, once you can eat whatever you want, what is the go-to meal?
Pizza obviously is one of them. But I always love a good cheeseburger, man, or a steak. But like nothing's like a diner cheeseburger, like from New York or New Jersey. Like nothing is like like a Greek diner cheeseburger, French fries, like a chocolate milkshake.
I'll let you go. I appreciate your time as always, Jared.